Hello guys, to celebrate our next release, Mr. Majestic, coming out on Monday the 30th of October, make sure you have signed up to be notified when that's coming out, because that's the only time you'll ever be able to get it. We're going to celebrate our fragrance because that's meant to be our creative head turner fragrance, and I kind of want to celebrate all other creative head turner scents. I'm not a big fan of having loud fragrances in general. I like my fragrances to be classy and reserved, like me, maybe. And I actually don't go for loud fragrances that often, but sometimes you want to grab people's attention. You like head turner fragrances, but you want to stand out. I don't want to have any basic fragrances in this list today. We've got around 8 fragrances. I'm not going to have things like Versace Eros or Azara the Most Wanted or Ultramal. These are the basic head turner fragrances, the loud stuff. This is going to be more interesting fragrances. This is going to celebrate uniqueness in this video. Let's begin. First up, we have Dior Homme Parfum. This is a very interesting fragrance. It is loud and intense. It is not an easy fragrance to pull off, but hey, this is the theme of the video. It is a very masculine fragrance. It is leather and iris mixed together. So a masculine leather with a powdery iris with no sweetness. This is a very serious, very intense. This, has that kind of lipsticky feeling from the iris, but it's just so woody, intense, and masculine that it just gives off this really mature vibe that is just very thick, very heavy, lasts a very long time, loud projection, medium to loud projection. And I will say this just is extremely unique. It's one of those fragrances that's been out longer than a decade now, but still nothing else in the market smells like this. So if you're a serious, mature, masculine guy who wants to smell very artistic with this fragrance, Dior Homme Parfum. Terence Hughes Hard Candy. I always recommend this fragrance. I think Terence Hughes is a fantastic brand in general. He's all about the art, his creativity, his style of fragrances. Hard Candy might be his best fragrance that I've smelled to this day. It is very strawberry-like, strawberry-esque, fruity, candy-like as he says. Very creamy, heavy on the musks, heavy on the woodiness. This is technically an oud fragrance. Aaron has said that he uses real oud here, but doesn't really give off an oud feel. It just gives off a very easy to love, thick, woody scent. Anyone can love this. This is super mass appealing, but still super creative. There's nothing else on the market that smells like this. So if you want something that's sweet and fruity, but at the same time it's actually balanced out really nicely, there's some freshness there to make it a really versatile scent. This is surprisingly versatile, even though the name may not suggest it. This could be a great signature. 12 hours longevity, fantastic performance, fantastic artistry here. I recommend Hard Candy. It's one of his best from his entire line. Initi Parfums Oud for Greatness, one of their most popular fragrances that I hated for a long time. This is a challenging fragrance that you're not going to like straight away. If you love masculine, mature, intense, spicy scents, this is the fragrance for you. It does have a very photorealistic spice to it. I think it's the saffron in here that gives off this almost food cabinet-esque spice to it. It's super realistic, very thick, woody, musky. It really cuts through the air. It's super, super strong. Most people will not like this, I don't think. I don't think this is a mass appealing fragrance. I think if it suits your skin chemistry and you suits off your style and your vibe, then it will work for you. I think then it will be very attractive. I think it's got to be a very masculine, mature guy to rock something like this. I respect the fact that this is bold, extremely photorealistic, high quality ingredients. Nothing is overpowering in one way or another for the ingredients. I don't think the oud is super prominent here, but it's all just there, balanced beautifully with each other. Great creative idea, and I think this is sort of like, I always say, an upgrade from Sauvage Elixir. If you like Sauvage Elixir, that kind of vibe and that kind of style, then you can upgrade to Oud for Greatness. Wow. Parfum de Marly's Layton Exclusive. This might be one of the best fragrances ever made in my collection, especially, or just in general, but it's not very versatile. That's the main thing. But Layton Exclusive is really, really interesting. Here they've definitely used oud, but they've gone a little bit dirty and animalic with it, the variation that they've used. It's high in oud, I think, but at the same time, it's such a super interesting oud scent. If you like Layton, this is definitely the enhanced version of Layton. Definitely reduced versatility, but I think the scent profile is so much more interesting and so fascinating. They've taken an animalic oud and then softened it out with this apple pie from Layton, this warm spices and coffee note in here. So they've made it sort of gourmand. They've made it a sweet, lovely gourmand with a intense, sharp animalic oud. This smells extremely regal, complex, extremely creative, extremely expensive. So this is a fragrance you must try before you buy, but if you really want to try out really high level perfumery, I think this is a great place to start. Moschino Toy Boy. I had to mention this fragrance. Come on guys, I always love talking about this teddy bear. It is a super great scent. I always say this is a steal for the price. This is not a designer fragrance in my opinion. They've labeled it as designer, but this smells niched in my opinion. And I think this could have been labeled as unisex actually, but I think it leans a little bit masculine overall. Super interesting, unique rose, that is fresh and spicy. It's a spicy, peppery rose that has some greenness to it, some intense muskiness there. It's almost soapy, clean, green, but that rose is super prominent. And for men's perfumery, that's so unique, and I really appreciate that. For us men, we need more rose-based perfumery. The longevity is fantastic, quality smells fantastic. It's you can get it for such a cheap price sometimes in discounters, and it's just insane because this smells like a high quality niche fragrance in my opinion. Toy Boy, it does have that sort of soapy, watery rose note to it that not everyone will like. You really do need to try this first, but if you can, you go to a store, try it out first. If you like it, if you appreciate it like someone like myself, you have a similar style to myself, you're gonna love this. This is super, super good stuff in the designer realm. And a few extra mentions I don't own bottles of, but I've had samples of, is going to be Amouage Interlude Black Iris. One of the greatest oud fragrances ever made. It's a very mellowed out, warm, ambery oud that has a hint of smokiness from the original Interlude man. It's made a lot more powdery, earthy, intense through real orris. So it's an expensive fragrance, but I think it's definitely worth it because the ingredients smell super expensive. They use real oud and real orris. They're two of the most expensive perfume ingredients in the world. They've got an intense, creative, complex, evening fragrance that just smells super expensive for the cold weather. Amouage Interlude Black Iris, I definitely recommend it. It's a 10 out of 10 for me as a winter scent purely. Chanel's Lion de Chanel. Now that is a beautiful fragrance that is kind of rare for Chanel to make such a loud scent, but it's a super intense, smoky labdanum fragrance. If you want to experience labdanum, you go for Lion de Chanel. It's called rock rose as well, and it's a plant that grows in different parts of the world that gives off an ambery note to it. Amber-based, a little bit leathery, a little bit smoky, extremely intense, gives a very good longevity to your fragrance. The Lion de Chanel smells super elegant, smoky, ambery. It is that French classical style of Chanel, but really amped up, really strong. And it's a super interesting fragrance that you won't really smell a scent profile anywhere else. And finally, MFK's Oud Satin Mood. I've only tried the Eau de Parfum, so that's what I can vouch for. Fantastic, fantastic scent. So again, this is rose and oud, but it's done in a unique way. Rose and oud can be a very generic and boring combination because it's been done 1,000 times, so you have to put your own twist on there. And what I like about MFK is they've used a very high quality rose from what I can tell. Rose could be extremely expensive as well depending on the variation. And they've used a style, I think it's probably they've used Bulgarian Otto rose that has a sort of honeyed, almost rose water effect to it that gives this fragrance a Turkish delight feel. Oud Satin Mood smells like elegant, expensive Turkish delight being worn on your skin, and it's so interesting. It's like a gourmand rose and oud scent, which makes it super unique and really a standout in that sort of style of perfumery. But one of the best from MFK, check it out. And that concludes this video, guys. Make sure you do pre-order Mr. Majestic when it comes out this Monday on the 30th of October. What are your thoughts on this list? Do you insist that your loud head turner fragrances aren't basic and are actually very creative and unique? Do you agree with my choices today? If you don't, tell us what are your creative head turner fragrances that always get you compliments, gets you noticed. Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to check out our other video on creative fragrances. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.